I'm just going to do it.
Unreal. You think you know somebody on this show, and he just
I'm going to Kanye West you right on the stage here,
let's see
just take the mic.
Yes, we're back again.
Hey, let's pump up the volume.
Right here.
What's up, Whisper Nation? We're back with Face Off Friday, another installment of one of your favorites. This week, we've got Davante Adams going head-to-head with Tyreek Hill. And if you guys want more of these face-offs, you got to hit like and subscribe right now on the channel because we've got a bunch of them coming out every Friday at least, maybe more. And as always, this offseason, we're going to be doing a little bit of coin flip to decide who gets which player. And so without further ado, Johnny, go ahead and flip that coin now.
Heads is going to be for the rights to argue for Davante Adams, and tails is going to be for the rights to argue for Tyreek Hill. It is my pick up first this week, so we will see what I got, and it is tails. So I get Tyreek Hill. Big Travie has Davante Adams. We will duke it out. We will state our cases.
Wow. This is just unbelievable, dude. 2 weeks in a row, you get the guy that you want. This is unbelievable, but it's okay. I will make a strong case either way. This is going to be fun. It's going to be a little bit closer than what people might think, Travis. And I'm ready to prove.
It definitely could be, but I'll go ahead and start us off here with
I'm going to let you
Davante.
I'm going to let you go first.
I don't need your permission. I'm just going to do it.
Unreal. You think you know somebody on this show, and he just
I'm going to Kanye West you right on the stage here, just take the mic. So listen, we know that Davante Adams didn't have his typical year last year. That's because he finished wide receiver 23, but he missed a month of October with a nagging turf toe injury. And he was also in year one of Matt LaFleur's system. And so for me, if you take those things into account, you realize actually wide receiver 23 is a pretty good finish for a wide receiver, which means he gave you a lot of up weeks. He will likely get some help through the draft or free agency. They also signed Devin Funchess at wide receiver, which means some defensive attention will be taken away from him.
Killer right there, dude. Devin Funchess.
He's fully healthy heading into year 7 in the NFL. This is Rodgers' number one wide receiver, and we know when it's Rodgers' number one wide receiver, there's almost never outside the top 12 at the position. He's had multiple top 5 finishes for his wide receiver one. Adams has scored 10 or more touchdowns in 3 of the last 4 years. All of this means, Johnny, he's pretty much a lock to be a top 5, at least a top 10, but for sure a top 5. I mean, for sure a top 10, but maybe a top 5. And I love Adams' prospects this year, especially as I think he's a more consistent player across the board than Tyreek Hill because of Tyreek Hill's real ability to boom or bust. So give me Adams every day of the week, even without the coin toss. I'm taking Davante Adams.
Yeah, I do love Davante Adams. Certainly, I have him on my dynasty team, so really, really do love me some Davante Adams. So this case is going to be a little bit difficult for me to argue, but I will certainly do my best here in front of Whisper Nation, as that is my job. And so I am going to jump into this by saying that last year, Tyreek Hill only played 12 games. And similar to Davante Adams, who also had a down year, so did Tyreek Hill. So he's coming at a little bit of a discount right now. Tyreek Hill is coming into his 5th season, though, unlike Davante Adams coming into his 7th, which is very, very interesting time for a wide receiver because generally that is when they make their big monster jump, right? You tend to see a little bit of a breakout in year 3, which Tyreek Hill had done, and then you kind of see this one more kind of bounce as well in year 5. So I am looking forward to this year, and I'm excited to see what a full year of healthy Tyreek Hill can possibly do. You're looking at a guy that in 2018, when he broke out, had 137 targets. So, you're looking in the range of a Davante Adams kind of in target wise. So we've seen that already. He had 1,400, almost 1,500 yards receiving that year and 12 touchdowns. Now the touchdowns are the big question mark. I think that Tyreek Hill could honestly match Davante Adams in the yardage, possibly pretty easily. Because he gets so many deep and long bombs from, one of the best quarterbacks right now in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. The touchdowns is where, I think Davante Adams is clearly going to benefit more than Tyreek Hill. But where Davante Adams lacks is the fact that Tyreek Hill also is involved in the rushing game. And especially if they don't add running backs and they keep this, running back room the way it is now, they're going to continue to give Tyreek Hill some running abilities and rushes out of the backfield. So let's not forget that Tyreek Hill has 4 rushing touchdowns as well. So he is a threat there around the goal line. I just think that with Tyreek Hill, sure, he might not have the floor that Davante Adams represents each and every single year because he's just so consistent. But I certainly do think on games, and if he has a significant breakout year, I think that he has that over Davante Adams, if that makes any sense. I think that Davante Adams doesn't have an ability to break out, especially with hold on, let's cut this part out because this is where I'm gonna. So I'll wrap it up with Tyler. So ultimately, what I would say with this matchup, it depends on what this room is going to look like after the draft. But certainly you don't see a huge dip in targets coming from Tyreek Hill. You could say Mecole Hardman might garnish a little bit more, market share there, but Kelsey is already grabbing a ton of market share, and you still see this offense can really boast quite a number of offensive weapons here. So Tyreek Hill, to me, is a very exciting upside play that you're going to find near the end of the first round in most drafts.
Well, we want to know what you think, Whisper Nation. Do you got Davante Adams or Tyreek Hill in this year's fantasy football outlook? Would you rather have either wide receiver? Let us know in the comments below. As always, head over to thefantasywhispers.com. Check out all our new content. We will have a written version of this debate right there on the website. Click subscribe. And as always, that's Johnny Game Time Hicks. I'm Big Travie. We're the Fantasy Whispers. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.